Joachim is a member of the French Assembly representing President Macron's party En Marche. He also sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee in Paris. He joins us now. Mr. Saint-Forget, thank you very much for joining us. What proof does France have that these chemical weapons were used by the Assad regime?
Well, there are direct proofs of the a chemical attack occurred. It's unfortunately not the first time it occurs. We are 1 year after the tragic incident of Khan Sheikhoun in the province of Idlib, where sarin gas was used. Right now, so there are, the president expressed it, there are proofs that chemical weapons were used, at least chlorine. From my own perspective, with direct sources from Douma, some medical doctors that I know operating there have been testifying of probably mixed symptoms that could involve other agents.
Okay. Sorry, just to clarify though, you're saying there is proof that chemical weapons were used. Are you also saying there is proof that the Assad regime used those weapons? Because that's where President Macron seems to be out in front of both London and Washington.
Well, you heard the words of the president. I kind of don't need to rephrase it, but at the same time, what I can bring you as a supplementary information, I knew from people originated from Douma that negotiations were occurring before the days before between the rebels in this resting part of the eastern Ghouta. And these negotiations with Colonel Zorin from the Russian side has led to no compromise. The people from Jais al-Islam that were in Douma wanted to surrender. This was not accepted. The regime wanted all these people with their families out of Douma. And to their interpretation is that anyway they should to be forced to be out quite fast out of Douma. There was no other choice than to make them extreme fear. I'm very cynical, but they wanted to trigger fear to make these people go out of Douma, and this is what they are doing now.
Would the French government be prepared to release the proof that Mr. Macron is talking about? Because that would help clarify the decisions, obviously, that are being made in London and Washington.
That will be done in time, and when the moment is needed. It's like for the strikes. I was asked several times about the immediacy or not of the strikes. There are the kind of things you don't declare. There are the kind of things you need to secure with verifying information and acting for, in good coordination within the coalition active in Syria.
Okay, Mr. Saint-Forget, who sits on the Foreign Affairs Committee, thank you so much for joining me from Paris.